Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of With Mercury. I am your host, Calvin Goodman, and today we are going to be talking about the top 10 albums of 2020. So far, I'm going to go over the top 10 albums, in my opinion, of the first half of this year as of July 2nd, 2020. So with that out of the way, let's go! Number 10, Poppy, I Disagree. The third studio album from American YouTube personality and musician Poppy sees her dipping her toes into metal and synth pop and shoegaze, all that stuff. It is a very well constructed album and very short at 36 minutes. If you like your music to be unpredictable and genre fluid, check this out. Although the reason I rated this album so low is because there's an album in this sort of vein that you'll find out later that I thought was better than this. So stay tuned for that one. But don't forget to check I Disagree out if you want to. Number 9, Current, The Way It Ends. The second album from the New England-based Metalcore Crew, Current, is a very concentrated slab of metalcore, and it plays to its strengths very well. Very great guitar work for a metalcore band, especially these days, where every band seems to be playing the 8 strings and drop tuning, getting lower and lower and lower by the year. These guys stick out. Great songwriting, great choruses, great hooks. You can't go wrong with this if you're a modern melodic metalcore fan. Number 8, Antipsychotic, Nothing Is True and Everything Is Possible. The latest album from the former post-hardcore and current alt-rock group Antipsychotic is a very good album focusing on themes of desolation and the breakdown of society and civilization and stuff like that. It has some very great tunes. I will say one thing though, it's very derivative of a certain British alternative group called the 1975. But other than that, I still think it's very worth checking out, even if it's derivative. Number 7, Spectral Lore and Melia Cognitum, Wanderer's Astrology of the Nine. This 2-hour and 15-minute monolith of a split record from the two atmospheric black metal bands is a tribute to the 9 planets of the solar system. It has some very triumphant moments, like the song Venus, or some very tranquil moments, like the first half of the Pluto duology of songs that close the album. All in all, it's a very good and very, very long, you have to trust your patience with this one, black metal album that deserves your time and is worthy of the praise that it's getting. And I've only heard it once, and I got it in my top 10 albums so far list. You know it's good. Number 6, Loath, I Let It In and It Took Everything. Let me pose you this. Did you always wanted to see Deftones as a metalcore band? If so, this album is for you. It's like if Kono Yokan and Periphery basically spawned a child. And that child is I Let It In and It Took Everything. It has very good ambient sections, very ferocious drumming at times, the visceral screams coming from the frontman, amazing. And they even lock on some black metal at one point in the style of Death Heaven. If you're into atmospheric like metalcore and Deftones and stuff like that, even if it's very on the nose, check the thing out. You won't be disappointed. It's very good. Number 5, Secondantian, Supercontinent. Now this is an interesting album by the experimental death metal band Secondantian. They are from Italy. They are a duo. One guy plays the bass and the other guy plays drums. And they talk about prehistoric creatures in their lyrics. And the way that they use the bass is inventive and very unique. The bass is not only playing the rhythm, it's also playing the lead melodies too, which gives it a very unique sort of desolate feel that really actually makes you feel like you're back in that Triassic prehistoric time period. It is a very, very interesting album. If you want to hear avant-garde death metal, don't be hesitant to check this thing out. It's probably one of the more unique albums I've heard this year. Number 4, Porgy Genius, Set My Heart on Fire Immediately. The newest album from Porgy Genius, aka Mike Hadrius, is an amazing record with a couple duds here and there, but overall it's an amazing record. And what I like about this record is that every song has a personality and a feel of its own. You can't say that for a lot of records out there. But Mike Hadrius and Blake Mills, his producer, has shown how to make this work correctly without falling into the trap of being too experimental. It has paid off with some of the best songs that I've heard Mike Hadrius do to date. If you're into art pop and indie pop, and if you're a Porgy Genius fan, you will not be disappointed by this album. Go check it out. Number 3, Trivium, What the Dead Men Say. The newest album from American heavy metal band Trivium is, well, it's a Trivium album. It's a very lean 42 minutes, and it's very good. Trivium do what Trivium do best. Matt Heafy is on point with his singing and his screaming. Alex Bent is forever a beast on the drum. You can't make me change my mind. And yeah, just get this if you want to hear more Trivium. You will not be disappointed. Number 2, Rina Sawayama. Sawayama. My only perfect score for this channel so far was this album, the debut from Japanese-British pop prodigy Rina Sawayama. Now remember when I said earlier about Poppy and her genre fusions and how I selected somebody who done it better later on in the list? Now this is that album. And the song that I think has done the pop metal crossover better is the song STFU. It combines nu metal with Britney Spears-esque pop in such a weird but infectious way. That's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of genres there. She does club on the song Excess. She does Ariana Grande-esque crooning on Bad Friend, my favorite by the way. And she even tackles stadium rock with Who's Gonna Save You Now, a track that I will forever lock myself in heaven if Dorian Electra were to collaborate on it. Oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true. If you're sick of all the pop on the radio and you want to hear something different, just get this. And you know what? I stan Rina. But there's one album that is better than this that I have not talked about yet on the channel. What could this be? Well, here it is. Number 1, Moses Sumney, Gray. This is an album by California-based singer-songwriter Moses Sumney, his second album. It is a very ambitious double album about the concept of isolation. A very timely release considering where we are at right now in the world. It is a very experimental and forward-thinking album that I think is going to be on my year-end list. There's a lot of variety on it here, from the metaphorical sadness of two dogs to the stabs of Matt Corby-isms on several of the tracks here. And the framing of the record is very good. The talent of Moses Sumney is very much on display on this whole double album. I feel very honored to call this my top 10 album of the first half of this year. So now that I've done my top 10 albums of 2020 so far, it's time for me to do two things. One, an honorable mention, Grimes, Miss Anthropocene. This album is a good album by the experimental pop and art pop songwriter Grimes. She dabbles in stuff like country and tiny bit of metal influence in there, and some club music influence as well. If you're a Grimes fan, check it out. And secondly, I am introducing something called the Dark Horses. Albums that I haven't gotten into too much, but will maybe be off the radar runners for the final top 10 albums at the end of this year. And I've chosen two very different albums for this section. One is Thomas Avier's Love Disorderly, an album by the Netherlands-based pop singer Thomas Avier. Is a very, I don't know how best to describe it. It has an atmosphere very much actually akin to Lord's Melodrama. My second dark horse is All-Star and their album Providence. This is the second album from death metal band All-Star. As you could probably tell by the cover art, it is very much inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft. If you're a fan of stuff like Blood Incantation and all those, definitely check that out. Definitely check them out. Okay, now I've told you my top 10 of 2020 so far. Let me know in the comments what you think your top 10 of 2020 is so far. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications to let YouTube know that I'm worth it. And so, with that out of the way, rock on guys, and I'll see you in the next video.